This is episode 2 of how to do monstrous voices for the beginner DM. Today, we're going to learn how to do a good Dragonborn. Now, everyone obviously is going to have a different style, but this is my personal take on it and something that I find the most fun. When I think of a Dragonborn in D&D, I think of a big sort of lumbering crocodile. It's got that bit of a dinosaur vibe, real gruff and real tough. Now, to get that sort of crocodile animalistic sound into a creature to really communicate that this creature is dragon-like, lizard-like, dinosaur-like, we're going to use our low octave and we're going to be constricting a lot. I'm going to go through 3 basic steps on how you can voice a Dragonborn. Step 1 is to just lower your voice as much as you can. So unlike the last video where you lowered it a bit, we're going to really try to lower it a lot. So find yourself a comfortable place where you are not afraid of absolutely weirding people out, or if you're so inclined, weird people out anyway, because who cares? What's the harm in it? So lower your voice as much as you can and practice that. So I'll do an example here. This is my normal talking voice, and this is about as low as I can go. This is about the bass of my voice. So what I find is helpful to get the lowest voice that I can is I tilt my chin back. So my chin goes down, the back of my head goes up. So my head is almost flat. And I get this really great double chin. But when you do that, you can hit a bit of a lower sound. And then the next step. Step 2, you're going to want to constrict your vocal cords. Now, constricting your vocal cords is something that'll take a little bit of practice, but once you understand it, it becomes very easy and can become the basis for a lot of other voices out there. So to start off with, start talking a little bit lower, and then breathe a bit slower. Release your breath slower. You can hear when I'm constricting and when I'm not right there. So I go low, and then I constrict. So practice that on your own a little bit. Try to go low and just make different sounds until you get familiar with the feeling of constricting your vocal cords to really bring that growl out. Then, once you get the hang of that, combine both of those steps. So step 1, as low as you can go. Step 2, constrict. That's the basis for the sound of your character. It sounds a little bit reptilian, a little bit low, a little bit dark, which is how I personally picture a big red Dragonborn sounding. And then step 3 is to put it all together and add character to it. Maybe think of something funny. One funny quirk for your character. Something funny for my Dragonborns that I usually put in my campaign is that they always complain about having lung problems. It's kind of a joke about having to, if a character's breathing fire all the time, what would that do to their lungs? So step 1, low. Step 2, gravelly. Step 3, put it all together and add character. My name is, Sanyama Desvelado. I'm a big, tall, red Dragonborn, and, I was born from Grognak the Insatiable. My mother was Firestorm the Dwarf Hunter. They raided a few towns, kind of got to know each other, and then settled down, and when I was about a week old, they flew off and kind of left me to fight to the death with my siblings. Fortunately, I proved stronger than the rest. I'm a bit of an enigma.
Even though both my parents were dragons, I kind of turned out half human, and maybe Mom saw this bard in the middle of all that, and, well, it's not like my parents weren't normally trying to kill each other anyway, but that definitely added to the mix. And, I've got really bad black lung disease, so, if you could just be patient with that.
So that's what the character sounds like. A little bit of character, a little bit of that, just that gravelly sound. And when you start to get the hang of that, you're going to bring that character out and your players are going to immediately know, oh, I know that character. It'll take a bit of getting used to. It's going to be rough on the throat at first, but I guarantee with just 10 minutes of practice a day in a week, you can get there and do a okay impression of that, enough to bring some smiles to your players' faces and maybe some jokes around the table. One more trick for those of you who have stuck around this far. If you like to learn a more advanced trick, I will go over this in much more detail in future in the Growl video. But this is something that took me a lot of work to understand and really get used to. But it is the backwards growl. And that sounds a bit like this, just as an example.
My name is... sorry, I had a seagull bone stuck in my throat.
I just got over COVID. I'm having a bit of trouble with my lungs. I normally try that one more time. So that sound, it kind of adds a bit of grittiness to the character, a little bit of flavor that I personally really like. And so how I do that, I'm going to go through a quick step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1, breathe in and make sound. So practice that in your car. Step 2, breathe in and make sound low. So do a low pitch, breathe in, make sound. Step 3 is just practice until you find there's like a sweet spot that you can hit where your throat's just going to start to like make gravelly sounds. Just really like weird, terrifying, growly sounds. And if you want to add to that and make it even better, get a paper towel roll and do it through a paper towel roll. And that will sound a lot better. So if you want to kind of make your players jump a little bit, practice that in your car, make some weird noises, weird people out, have fun with it. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day. I hope this brings something to your D&D table, and stay weird, have fun.